Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be actually converting, or we'll be actually inverting the image, and we'll be actually writing the code for inverting the image. So in the previous tutorial we have already got a reference to the image view. We have already added the image to a particular variable. We have already assigned the image1, which is the current image which we are working with, to the variable myflower, and we have also converted this myflower to a bitmap image so that we could process bitmap images. And we have also created a method, or we have just used the method invert image, but we have not actually written some code for it. And we have finally assigned the new photo which is created to the image view. And so now in this tutorial we will be actually writing the code to invert an image. So in order to do that, we go outside this onCreate method and we are going to type in some code to invert the image. So we create a new class, public static, and this is going to return a bitmap. So we type bitmap as the return value, and let's name it as invert image. And to this we are going to pass in bitmap original. So once we have this, we are going to write in the code for inverting the image. So inverting an image is nothing but changing its color values. So basically we are going to subtract the color value from the 255 and we are going to assign the color value to the newly created image. So in order to do that, first we need to get the image's height and we are going to need to get the image's width so that we could work with each and every pixel. So in order to do that, we get a reference to each and every pixel. So the first thing which we need to do is that we need to create a final image. So we type bitmap and let's name it as final image, and we type this equals bitmap dot create bitmap, and to this create bitmap we are going to pass in the original height, the original width, and the original config. So we type in original dot get width, which is going to set the width. Then we will type in original dot get height, which is going to give us the height, and then original dot get config. So once we have these things, we could move ahead. So the next thing which we need to do is that we need to store the color values for each pixel. So a color value is nothing but an integer value which is assigned to a pixel. So a pixel has three values, which is red, green, and blue. So we define variables for storing them. So we type int, and we are going to have one more variable a. So a, r for red, g for green, and b for blue. And we also store the pixel color. So we type int pixel color, and then in order to get the height, we type int height, and we store height into this variable. So let's go directly and extract the height. So we type in original dot get height, and get height is basically a method in order to get the height. Now we do the same for the width. So we type int width equals original dot get width. Now once we have the height and width, we'll be using this height and width to loop through the entire pixel, or to loop through the entire screen, so that we could extract each and every pixel and change its value. Now if you know the concept of matrix, how we used to traverse the matrix, so in order to traverse a matrix we used to use two for loops nested within one another, and we could access each and every element of a matrix. Now an image is nothing but a collection of pixels, so you could say that an image is basically a matrix which consists of pixels. So we go ahead and traverse image and we extract the value of pixels. So we type for integer y equal to 0, y less than the height which we have just obtained, then y plus plus, and within this for loop we are going to have another for loop. So we type for integer x equals 0, x less than the width, and x plus plus. So in this, basically the first thing which we are going to do is we are going to get the pixel color. So we type pixel color equals original dot get pixel, and to this we are going to pass in the coordinates which are x and y. So x and y are nothing but the pixel coordinates. So we traverse to each and every pixel and get the value of the color in pixel color. Now we store each and every value into a, r, g, and b. So the first thing which we do is that we type in a. So a is for storing the alpha. So we'll be needing this whenever we are creating the bitmap image. So we type a equals color dot alpha, and to this we are going to pass in pixel color. And now we extract the value of red. So we type r equals color dot red, and we are also going to pass pixel color, and we do the same for green and blue. So we simply copy this code, go ahead and paste it twice and make some changes. So this R changes to G, this changes to green, this R changes to B, and this color changes to blue. So once we are done with this, we basically have the value for each and every color. Now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to actually invert this color. So let's go ahead and do that in the same line of code. So basically whenever you want to invert a color, you basically subtract the given color value from 255. So in order to invert the color for red, you simply type 255 minus the red color value. For green you do the same. So we type 255 minus the color value of green, and for blue we type 255 minus the current blue color value. So once this is done, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to assign the new color values to each and every pixels. So we type final image dot set pixels, and set pixels method is actually used to set the pixel value. So the first thing which we need to pass in is the x and y values, which are the coordinates of pixels. Then we need to pass in the color. So we type color dot argb, and argb is nothing but alpha, red, green and blue. So we pass the respective values. So we type a for alpha, r for red, g for green, and finally b for blue. So once each and every operation on the pixel is done, you need to return the final image. So in order to return it, we go here and type return the final image. So once this is done, we are done with the code. So now we need to save the code and we need to run our application on the emulator. And if you have a device connected, it's better if you run your application onto the device, but I'll be running on the emulator as I have to show you guys how's the output. So it is better if you switch to a device, and that is because a device runs much faster as compared to emulator, so you don't have to keep waiting. So now let's go ahead and run this application. So as you could see, our application is up and running on the emulator, and as you could see, it has inverted the colors for the flower. So our basic image was something different, and what this application has done is that it has applied the effect of inverting the color. And basically you could apply any method or any effect to your image, but for the sake of this tutorial we have considered the inverting image color as an option. So that's how you apply an effect to your image in an Android application. So if you want to develop an application for editing the images, you could use the same method which we have used in this tutorial. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.